And sometimes that happens to many of us. And the Isaiah 61 movement is to help us to lean into being more intentional about finding more people that we can share faith with by starting off by sharing our life, by actually being around people more, by actually giving them opportunity to get to know us more. It's sad to think that in this day and age there are so many lonely people. I remember reading something on Sky News about a lady who she'd been 2 years in her flat. 2 years, can you imagine it? In her flat, she died, and nobody had noticed for 2 years. And a lady, I watched something on the news about it as well, a lady had walked past her door every single day and was wondering what was going on, why they hadn't seen her. 2 whole years. That's a sad reflection of society today. People are lonely. People do want connections. People do want friends. And this app that we have, Isaiah 61 app, I'm not going to go into details about it, but in your C3 group, you can go into more details about it. There is an app that you can download and set goals and help you to move in, to lean into connecting more with people around you and set a goal of how you can share life. You see, after all, Jesus shared life with people. Remember the woman at the well? He just asked for a drink. Just asked and did everyday normal activities before he got into the conversation about who he was. The Bible encourages to have an attitude that our whole life is something that we want for God to use for us, for him. In Romans 12, I love these verses, it says, "So here is what I want you to do," God helping you. "Take your everyday, ordinary life. You're sleeping, you're eating, you're going to work and walking around life, and place it before God as an offering. Embracing what God does for you is the best thing you can do for him. Don't become so well adjusted to your culture that you fit into it without even thinking." 2 elements there I really love to draw out. An offering. That our lives would be an offering before God. So it doesn't become about me, but it becomes about God. And it becomes about offering our lives to him. Just our everyday, ordinary lives. Giving that to him at the beginning of every single day. Steve and I have started saying to each other, we used to say it years ago and we've kind of neglected it. And we started to say again, we were born for this day. We were born for this moment. And Steve says back to me, full benefit of this day. That we could have this attitude that we was born for this workplace. I was born for this neighborhood. I was born for this friendship. God knew that I was going to be in this situation. God knew that I was going to be in this workplace. God knew I was going to be in this friendship. I was born for this moment. And God has a purpose in it. That as we put it out as an offering for him, he will do incredible things with it. The other thing is the culture watch. Culture watch. It says, don't be so adjusted to your culture that you'll fit in without even thinking. I wonder whether we fit in so well, we adapt so much into the culture, even the work environment, that we don't stand out anymore. But the scripture is saying actually we should stand out, that we shouldn't be so adjusted into what's going on in the workplace or in the home or in the neighborhood. If it's a different culture, then we should stand out from that culture. Maybe it means don't get involved in the gossip that's going on in the workplace. Whether it means being kind to somebody when you hear a spoken word that is not kind about them. A culture is often defined and strengthened by it being challenged. So when something is challenged, we're reinforcing a culture. I remember when our kids were growing up and we had some visitors. It's okay, it was nobody here, so it's all right. But their children were kind of climbing all over our furniture and messing everything up and being a bit disrespectful, I thought. And after they'd gone, I said to my kids, we don't do that in our house. If we go to somebody else's home, I want you to show some respect. We won't be doing the climbing over the furniture and throwing things around because we want to respect. That was defining a culture by correction. Sometimes a culture has to be redefined. It's only often when we get it wrong that we realize what we want the culture to be. What culture do we want to be living in? What culture do we want to set? Let's not go so close to the culture of today's society that we don't stand out as a witness, because we want to be a witness for Jesus. We want to be a corporate witness as a church, and we want to be personal witnesses for Jesus. A corporate witness. You see, with Steve and I's role job titles, it's easy when we get introduced to people or we introduce ourselves to people. They say, "What do you do?" And straight away we can talk about the church, we can talk about our faith, we can talk about what's going on. It's kind of almost easier in some ways because we have this job title. But in some ways it's difficult because we have less people and opportunities to have those conversations and those relationships. But what we do have is an opportunity for a corporate witness here as a church. Remember Sign in the Sky? That was a corporate witness of C3. Now, if you need a lead-in in order to say to somebody what church you go to, did you see the sign in the sky? Did you see what was going on over Bury St Edmunds and Colchester and Cambridge over Easter time? Did you see that sign? It's a corporate witness. We're saying here to our towns and cities that we believe in Jesus and we believe what he did for us was out of love. It's an opportunity when we have that corporate witness. All the newspapers took it up. Some of us think we're a bit crazy, but that's absolutely fine. We're crazy for Jesus.
If you enjoyed this video today, why don't you click subscribe and click on that notification bell to get a notification the next time we upload a video. And if you're new or you've been coming to the C3 Church for a little while now, why don't you find out what your next step might be in the journey of faith? Click on the next step link in the description below to find out what your next step in your journey might be.